Did I see the Mob 100 Thieves drama? Yeah.
Nadeshot fires back at the Froste's accusation about 100 Thieves. So that's what the drama's about.
They got signed with 100 Thieves, and they got let go after a couple years. It kind of fizzled out. It failed, basically.
Yesterday, I looked way more into this whole, like, Nadeshot versus Frost thing. Nadeshot didn't do anything wrong. That Frost guy just wanted clout, and it completely failed.
One of the guys in the group, Frosty, drunk tweeted out how he thinks, his POV, that 100 Thieves stopped, not only, like, didn't allow them to succeed, but actively stopped them from succeeding through their bad contracts. The 100 Thieves' contract said that they take 85% of all the sponsorship money from a deal, which is absurd. That is fucking ridiculous. I've never seen a contract that is that high, ever.
85%. Dude, the guy literally is a 100 viewer streamer before yesterday. The mob was huge, and they got lazy when they got signed. It happens all the time. Have you not noticed that every time someone joins OTK, they stop streaming? People get lazy when they start getting comfortable. It's how it is, especially in this industry. They start making a lot of money, they start getting comfortable. The fact that Nadeshot had to facilitate a lot of their stuff, buy their house, all that stuff. So I totally understand why Nadeshot was taking a shit ton of money from them, because he kind of had to, otherwise they're going to not make anything.
Slime had some takes about Frost, which, by the way, Moist Critical covered as well, which I do want to watch. I want to watch Moist Critical's video on that.
Moist Critical made a video on it already?
Yesterday, we were blessed with an action-packed evening of internet drama that had me on the edge of my seat for the better part of 2 hours. Now, I'll go ahead and break down the situation for you in case you weren't on Twitter, and if you weren't, God bless you. Keep up the great work. You're doing amazing, champ.
Bro, he hates Twitter.
But Frosty has now come out with big claims against the org, and in response to these tweets, Nadeshot, the founder of 100 Thieves, went live on Twitch to address the controversy directly.
Brother, you average 100 viewers.
Jesus.
And I don't even mean this is to be disrespectful.
Man,
I just think that there needs to be a lens of logic.
He spent about an hour and a half finally pan-searing Frosty's cheeks in front of 45,000 people. I do like Nadeshot, however, he said something and revealed something that a lot of people are writing off as okay, and that's the percentage that 100 Thieves takes of the sponsorship deals they bring to the creators. This is him debunking the 95% claim from Frosty.
That we took 95% of their sponsorship deals. That is unequivocally, undeniably, without a shadow of a doubt, untrue. The key terms of these deals that we bring to the mob, we would retain 85% of revenue.
Wait, what?
And all 2 out of the 3 deals, they took home 65% of the revenue from that deal.
Bro, 85% cut!
85 is still a massive amount. So taking 85% of their revenue for anyone is crazy.
85 is bananas. So bananas they didn't even do it, even though they could have done it.
Thieves signed creators to contracts where they were able to take 85% of sponsored deals, but were nice enough to only take 35. So they had the ability to take 85, but they took 35%. That's better. Still atrocious.
Okay, even though he says it, listen to this is the thing. Even if they get 65, which is the opposite side of 35. That's insane. 85%, and they said that they're good guy for taking 35. That doesn't make any sense either. 15% is the most you're gonna get in this bracket. Okay? In this bracket, it's 15% or less. 10 to 15.
Generally, an agency contract takes between 10 and 20%. And 85 is ridiculous. I've never heard 85 in my life.
65, 85 is not acceptable, man. Okay, these are rookie ass scum ass number, man. What is that, man?
Now, Nadeshot, of course, does go a bit deeper into the weeds of it, saying that they did end up giving 65% to the mob for, like, one of their deals in particular.
Now, look, but who is the mob? True, I don't know who the fuck that is either. I thought that was a map. That was a map. Mob and no content. Yeah, but still, though, it's still kind of scummy. The scum load is 85%.
I have seen so many people defending this number, saying shit like, well, they wouldn't have had the sponsorships without 100 Thieves, so they're entitled to 85%. That kind of naive mentality is exactly why so many creators have been getting fucked in the face for the last 10 years.
There's different scenarios for different percentages. I don't know the whole, you know, the behind the scenes bullshit. But if Nadeshot is saying that, hey, we signed these guys and we're just taking 65% of their deals and we're not paying for rent, we're not paying for anything, we're not paying for shit, and you're just taking 65%, that's bullshit. Clearly that's bullshit. You should not take 65% just because you're a 100 viewer streamer. But from what I was told is that they were paying for rent. And rent, I think, is totally fair if the rent is 10 grand a month and you're a 100 viewer streamer to take a little bit more. Am I crazy? They paid their own rent. So if they pay their own rent, then I do think that's too much money. And they should not have taken that much. And I'm surprised they would. So what did the mob get out of joining 100 Thieves? Just like what? A couple sweatshirts? Like what do they get? Clout. So 100 Thieves they get clouted from 100 Thieves, and at the same time, they're taking 35% of all deals. Look, 65% is insanity, and that deserves to be called out. 35% is a lot, but I'm not going to say that's enough where it's like, you deserve to be exposed and you're a huge piece of shit.
Even if it said like 35%, that's still a glaring red flag.
No, did Charlie, are you watching or something? Like, what is this?
Now, I don't think Nadeshot is doing this maliciously. This is just how the industry has been for about a decade, where the big businesses know that these people are young enough to not make a big hoopla about the sponsorship cut that they take. But that's not the way it should be.
I think it's gotten better, but I've always been very anti-org. You know, I've never signed with an org for a reason. Because all they can offer you is a bit of money to suck value out of you that is higher than the dollar amount they're giving you. Otherwise, it doesn't make economical sense for them to sign you. I think orgs make sense if the value you add is to the org rather than to them leeching off your stuff. OTK's not an org, bro. They're a content team.
You should never sign something or agree to do business with someone that's going to be taking 35 or 85%, allowed 85% in the contract. That's disgusting. The absolute maximum you should be okay with is like 20%. That is the most any agent or...
Again, it depends if they're doing something else, okay? I agree with him for the industry standard, for like, streamer gets sponsor, right? It totally makes sense, because the thing is, a lot of the times, you know what these agents are doing? They're just responding to a fucking email. A lot of the times, a sponsor will say and email you, hey, we have a sponsor for blank. We would like him to do this. Sure, let me ask. They ask you, then they take 20%, they make 10 grand. It's easy money, chat. If you ever want to get into this industry, try to be an agent, you know?
And I do understand the take people keep tossing around. They wouldn't have the sponsorship deals without 100 Thieves. You're right, but that doesn't mean they're entitled to 85%.
One of those deals, they made $30,000 each. It was a $200,000 deal. They walked away with $120,000, I believe it was. What you don't understand is that we have to employ a partnerships team that needs to go out and source these deals. And we have to incur labor expenses to make these things a reality.
I do understand why there would be a percentage that they would get, especially if you're not like already well established. Those marketing deals that are coming to you are only coming to you because you're a part of 100 Thieves, because 100 Thieves has inventory that they want to sell. Regardless, though, 85% is still insanely high. And it plays a fundamental role, as also Slime brings up here. Frost getting clowned is super funny and deserved, but don't let the raucous yas queening of Nadeshot drown out the open secret that esports teams are wholly unsustainable at all levels, and everyone's living on borrowed time from investors gambling, so fuck it, scam city, baby. I agree with him.
So I just completely disagree with all the people defending this 85%, which I think is...
I think the 85% is way too high as well. I agree with Charlie on that, 100%.
Indefensible. It should be the creators getting the bulk of that deal, because the deal is there because the creator's there in the first place. 100 Thieves, if it's 85% for all their creators, is outrageous, or even 35%, it's way too high.
I agree.
Now, I do want to go into a bit more just to conclude the entire situation here with the drama. I think overall Nadeshot came out of this looking significantly better than Frosty. One of the big claims Frosty made is that they were completely broke when they were signed with 100 Thieves. They were forced to move to West LA, and their salary didn't enable them to like have any quality of life, talking about like having to skip meals sometimes to pay rent. They did get encouraged to go out to West LA. However, they chose the $10,000 house.
They have to find the home. We help them find the home. They choose the $10,000 a month house.
If the mob is getting paid $2,500 a month each, and they chose a $10,000 a month house, you don't want to take 100% of your paycheck and put it towards rent. When they had internet issues, I guess they repeatedly complained about it, but...
Nah, if you don't do shit for like a whole year because you said we're lagging, okay, it's no excuse, man. If you're really dedicated to fucking doing something, okay, my brother, okay, with how much money these guys make, you can find a way to do it. That's just how it is, okay? One day, the internet went out, and I had to do something, okay? And I was out there in a snowstorm, knocking at my neighbor's doors, okay? Asking if I could play from their living rooms, okay? You know what that is? That's about being fucking hungry, man, and trying to get out there, man.
there is some responsibility from the creators themselves. Like, I'm pretty sure the mob, they were saying that, like, I got $60,000. I didn't know where my next meal was from, but they were door dashing their meals every day.
Oh, shit. Yo, how hungry can he actually be? Oh my god, bro. 2 fucking computers? You average 100 viewers, bro. Sell one of your computers.
Even on Frosty's own stream, he tried to make a point saying West LA is so expensive that, you know, all we could do was take a $10,000 house. But then he goes on Zillow and immediately proves himself wrong, just spits in his own face.
There are no options. We had to get the 10K house, also Frosty. 6,400, 10,000, 5,000, yeah, I think it's very obvious this guy Frosty's a fucking moron.
I think everyone's picking random sides in this and dunking on people. And Frosty seems like he's kind of a goofy kid I watched his response, and, you know, he's saying cap a lot.
A lot of the responsibility fell on Frosty, and a lot of these claims seem to be baseless. And Frosty kind of made a fool of himself, especially towards the end where he said this.
You literally provided no proof. Bro, because for me to provide proof, like, what is there to provide proof of? Like, why would I be lying? Like, I would have to show text messages. Like, this is what I mean, bro.
Nadeshot's the big cheese. The dude owns a fucking massive multi-$100 million org. He is the big cheese of the fucking org. You are literally the smallest fry. You are a janitor of 100 Thieves, and you are going after the big cheese, all right? You have nothing to show at all of the receipts of any of this shit. You go into this just saying this. What is wrong with you?
The stream didn't go super well for Frosty. I don't think he did a great job of, like, proving his claims. Maybe he'll come forward with, like, actual evidence to support these things in the future, but for now, it does look like Nadeshot, like, did the best here. I just wanted to talk about mainly the sponsorship thing, not so much the drama between the two of them. So that's really about it. So yeah.
But clearly Charlie has a huge problem with people making more than like 15 to 20% on sponsors. I mean, look, I agree. Obviously, it's a huge problem. There's a lot of people that try to get more than 15 to 20%. Whatever. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Frosty's a dumb bitch. What do you expect?
Didn't even be upset about 80% when you weren't working enough to even. That doesn't matter though. That doesn't matter. This is a company, an employer, and they pay salary to employees. Okay? If this happened to you or people around you, you would get so fucking schmall that you'd lose your fucking mind. You'd be all up on Twitter mauling about this shit. You would lose your fucking mind. Because you're not putting it in the real world. When it is the real world, you fucking ass idiot.
Yeah, there probably weren't the greatest bosses, but also, brother in Christ, people work with a lot less and get a lot more out of it, you know?
I mean, look, I kind of feel bad for Frosty. Like, that shit's not easy, especially when you're young. You feel like you got an opportunity to blow the fuck up. Maybe it didn't pan out in the way that you thought it was going to. You know, it kind of sucks. You know, but as far as what Nadeshot, or how Nadeshot operated with the mob, it seems like he did a decent job with the exception of the 85%, which he didn't even exercise, but it's still ridiculous that it's, you know.
We moved 4 best friends into a home together. I thought that this could only be productive. You know, the perfect situation and scenario for all of these guys.
I think if you've been in esports and gaming as long as Nate has, you should know that's almost not the case. If you take 4 young gamer best friends, you move into a dream content house, give them some money, and leave it up to them, they'll fucking smoke weed all day.
I think there's a valid argument that Aatrox made that Nadeshot should have known better than to leave them to their own hands. No, that's what I'm saying. I think Nadeshot was like trying to do a homie deal rather than trying to do a business deal.
If I had to sum it all up, man, I would just say, you know, Frosty, clearly, you probably shouldn't have brought this up at all. It's not a good look. And at the end of the day, you certainly could have done more with what you were given.
That was interesting. I mean, I guess you guys do something different, so it's not the same thing. Yeah.